Hideki Tojo was born in a military family when he was young. He didn't want to enter the military school, but since it was an old tradition for his family, he was forced into it. As he grew up, he developed tactical skills and a sense of leadership. He was one of the most influential generals that had graduated from the Japanese military academy. Hideki Tojo was blamed for all the Japanese war crimes. He even tried to commit suicide when the war was over, but as he failed, he was sent to the tribunal, where it was decided that he had to be blamed for all the brutal Japanese war crimes that were committed during his leadership. Some of these crimes involved many human rights violations, such as the right to live, the right to be free, between many others. The Japanese army had been violating these rights with the concentration camps they used. Even though Hideki Tojo was a brutal leader, many historians say that he shouldn't have been blamed for all the Japanese war crimes, and that the US government used him to prevent any more conflicts.
Hideki Tojo is the Japanese Benito Mussolini. He was in charge of the Taisei Yokusankai, or the Imperial Rule Assistance Association, which is the fascist Japanese party. Fascism is a form of radical authoritarian nationalism. It's opposed to communism. The Imperial Rule Assistance Association aimed to become a totalitarian one-party state. This means it wanted to remove all the other parties in Japan and remove the sectionalism to become a one-party state. Hideki was a complete dictator just like Hitler or Mussolini. He imposed militarism. He saw war as an opportunity to impulse economy and technology among other things, which explain his militarism beliefs. A perfect example of this is his attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7th of 1941, just 2 months after becoming Prime Minister of Japan. In economics, Tojo believed in the industry. He believed that Japan's military strength had to be rooted in the development of industrial economy.
After earning several promotions in the army, Hideki Tojo was named Vice Minister of War in 1938, and was one of the main supporters of making the Tripartite Pact with Germany and Italy. In July 1940, he was made Minister of War and Prime Minister on October 18, 1941. He led the attack on Pearl Harbor and eventually assumed the dictatorial power when he took over as Chief of Staff. After the Allied invasion of the Mariana Islands, he was removed as Chief of Staff on July 16, 1944, and 2 days later his whole cabinet resigned. He was then banned from power and held in the military reserve. After Japan's formal surrender, he attempted suicide as he shot himself. He was found guilty of war crimes and was hanged. After his death, he was commemorated by several Japanese prime ministers, situations that have caused the discontent of countries that were formerly occupied by Japan, like China and South Korea. Hirohito during World War II made a pact with Germany and Italy in 1940, the Tripartite Act, in which they accepted joining the Axis powers in World War II. Emperor Hirohito supported cooperation with Britain and USA. Nevertheless, he had no other choice but to accept and approve the attack on Pearl Harbor, which was the most important event the Tripartite Act caused. This event caused the retaliation from the Allies with the atomic bombs sent to Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which caused the surrender of the Axis, with Hirohito agreeing to the terms. On August 15, 1945, he made a national radio broadcast in which he declared peace and the end of the war. End of Hirohito dictatorship. After World War II, General Douglas MacArthur let Hirohito still be a democratic figurehead, despite some Allied leaders considered him a war criminal. The Allies occupied Japan with a new constitution with democratic reforms. He was an active figure until his death of cancer in 1989. He was succeeded by his son Akihito.